Hey, welcome back to my channel. I am the Danielle J, here bringing you yet another piece of content to help you figure out this big world of social media. And we are back with part 2 to the Instagram algorithm hacking series. This is Instagram algorithm explained. And if you haven't already, make sure that you go check out part 1 so that you can understand how the Reels algorithm works. In this part of the series, I want to talk more to the feed and stories aspect of Instagram because it has its own way to play. Okay, so Instagram has notoriously been a tracker of sorts when it comes to your activity on the application itself, and that doesn't stop with stories and or posts. In fact, Instagram is using all of your touch points on the application to determine what content you actually engage with so that it can show you more of that same type of content. Algorithm, as it stands for both the feed and your stories, goes, number 1 priority is information about the post. This is basic information like how many likes did the post get? Has it been tagged in a certain location? How long is this video? And that's just a few of the very many different ways that Instagram looks at a post or a story to determine how relevant and how popular that post or story is. The second aspect in the Instagram algorithm when it comes to stories and feeds goes back to tried and true information about the person who posted it. In this instance, Instagram is very particular about how you interact with the person who posts the post or the story. Is this someone that you actually interact with often? Is this an account that you send reactions to or leave comments underneath their pictures when they post them? Instagram is using this information to try to calibrate how interesting this person is to you. Last but not least, the third part of this algorithm is going to be your activity across the platform. This will include the quantity and quality of the posts that you're interacting with on the platform. And this is more like the Big Brother type feel that people talk about when they talk about Instagram tracking you. And that's because this is the specific way that Instagram is checking out your content behavior. Are you liking a lot of posts? Are you liking very little posts? If it's more posts, it gives more triggers for what you might like and what might show up for you. Also, it'll prioritize the accounts that are most similar to what you're already liking. So to double back on all of this information, all that means a ton to Instagram when it comes to stories and to your feed. But there's one more component that really kicks it up a notch when it comes to the Explore page. And that little extra special sauce is your history with the page that you're interacting with. Is this a page that you interact with often and you're not following them? Do you save their content? Have you shared their content before? When Instagram sees that you've interacted with these accounts before, it gives those accounts a little bit of a boost on your Explore page. So knowing what we know about the Instagram algorithm when it comes to stories and the feed and the Explore tab, you might be thinking, what is our strategy for this? Before we get into our last thing, I want you to go and look at the video that I made before this one that really goes into detail about the Instagram algorithm, because I feel like that will be able to help you understand what Instagram is going for, what their objectives are, and that will bridge the gap for all the different ways that you post on Instagram and what's gonna work for your audience. I got you covered. Let's get into a couple of practices that you can do right now to hack the Instagram algorithm. First things first, as a creator on Instagram's platform, we have to be mindful of the community guidelines. And I know it seems like it's just like an article that lives somewhere, like the terms of service and conditions when you get an iPhone.
Yeah, cause who reads that?
But I really do encourage people to go and look at what the community guidelines are. That way you can be more equipped with how the application regards content across the board. That's number 1. Number 2, make sure that you have a call to action that tells people to engage with your content. I cannot stress it enough. From the infographics that people post on their feed to the way that you post your stories. Every touch point that you have on Instagram, you want to be creating some type of sense of urgency so people can connect with you, whether that's telling people to leave a comment, or it's running polls on your stories so people can engage with you, or even having it where people can make suggestions on things if you're looking for recommendations. Instagram has made it so simple to be able to have a call to action on all the different formatting of the app itself, including stickers, polls, emoji sliders, and questions. Also, I want to put it into context because you guys know that I'm all about the numbers. The truth of the matter is, a good benchmark for your engagement is anywhere between 1 and 5%. But to be truthful, the average engagement on Instagram just last year was 0.83%. So it didn't even make 1% at all. I think it's important to keep this in context because knowing this, you won't be so hard on yourself if you're not hitting 1 to 5%. To keep going on this trend of engagement, a couple other things that you can do to really get people engaged. 1, respond to comments on your post. Make sure that you are answering any questions or just showing appreciation for people that have commented on your post. Also, if people are reacting to your content through stories, make sure that you're responding back to them, even if it's just acknowledging their liking or responding or reacting to your stories. Another way that you can kind of hack the Instagram algorithm when it comes to stories specifically is creating ongoing posts where you have polls or things where you would have to be tagged in so that you can re-upload people's mentions of your brand. And that might look like you asking for suggestions and then somebody responds to it. Then you can repost their response in your stories and keep that content alive longer and allow people to see that you are engaged with the people who engage with your page. One of the biggest factors that I see with a lot of creators online, regardless of the platform, is that they don't understand that analytics are king. Tracking and understanding your numbers is going to be super beneficial so that you know your starting benchmarks and how to grow up from there. I've also been a person who looked at the analytics and just was like, whatever, I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do because I enjoy this format of content and not that format of content. Even though the other format was getting more engagement from my followers, I would still blindly go with my own idea of what I thought people needed to see from me. And that's why it wouldn't work, because I was so hell-bent on having it my way and not the way that people were asking of me. So even if you look at your analytics just once a month, make sure that you're looking at the numbers so that you can really get a better understanding of what people are responding to on your page. And then you'll get a greater sense of who your audience is and what they're looking for when it comes to your brand. Piggybacking off of that idea, your analytics are also going to help you figure out when to post online, the demographics of the people that you're posting to so that you can stay on trend. And also, you'll see what copy is performing well and or hashtags. Speaking of hashtags, I know there's a lot of controversy around if you should still be using them. And the answer, for me at least, and from all the research that I've done on the Instagram algorithm, points to yes. And the reason is, hashtags are another trigger for Instagram to really determine what your information is. To understand what your content is about, hashtags really do help push the narrative of your content from a very binary sense. Think of your hashtags as just regular old keyword tags for your post that Instagram can use to put your content in front of the people that are looking for those things, or people who are similarly using the same hashtags. Last but not least, you probably hear this all the time when it comes to Instagram about posting consistently. Consistency is really about your brand's mark, right? What's consistent for your brand? Is it once a week, twice a week, once a day, 3 times a day? That really is contingent upon your content and what you have to put out. On the flip side though, make sure that while you're posting consistently, that you're actually posting quality content. And that doesn't mean having the most expensive photography equipment to take pictures. That doesn't mean having 4K videos even. It means having really good content that serves your audience. The copy's written well, you're using the right hashtags, you're using imagery that best depicts what you want your audience to get out of your brand. All in all, there's really a lot that is covered in the algorithm for Instagram, but you can do this. I have faith in you. I know that you can get her done. And I know this because you and I are not that different. And I've been so empowered from the information that I've learned that I had to share it with you because I know with this information, you're gonna take your brand to the next level. If all else fails and all this really goes in one ear and out the other, just remember that Instagram is really concerned with relationship, interest, and relevancy. Meaning, Instagram wants to know the relationship of the people who are interacting on a piece of content from both the person who posts it and the people who are interacting with it. Interest, meaning how are you showing up as a brand and how people are interested in your brand. And last but not least, relevancy. How new is this piece of content? How popular is this piece of content? How quickly are people responding to this piece of content? I hope that you were able to get something out of this video. Comment below and let me know how your journey is coming along with Instagram. And let me know if there's any questions that you have about the algorithm. I'll be more than happy to assist and we can get this thing done together. This has been another piece of content to help you get your social media act together. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.